Indeed, today, our khutbah, we take you to a majlis of Omar radiallahu anhu. Omar gathered the companion in one of the houses of the believers. Okay, let's do. And then he said, wish something. Ask Allah something. He asked the Sahaba, the companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what is your wish? Then one of the companions said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I wish that we have gold full of this house, then we can spend it in the sake of Allah. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen said, I want you to wish something. Then one of the other companions said, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, I wish that we have diamond full of this house. Then we can spend it for sake of Allah and we make sadaqat. Then Umar radiallahu anhu said, I want you to wish something. Then the Sahaba said, indeed, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, it seems like our wish is not the one what you asking. What is the wish? He said, I wish that I have this room full of men, رجال, مثل عبيد بن الجراح ومعاذ بن جبل وحذيفة بن اليمان. He said, I wish this room full of men, true men, to support me for the sake of Allah, to spread the peace and blessing and spread the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With this message of Umar, the Khalifa, who learned from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, give us a clear message that a house full of gold or a house full of diamond is not important as a house full of men. Because you can have so much money, but you don't know how to use it. As you see, Allah bless this ummah, the Muslim ummah, with countries that have oil and have money. But instead of helping the ummah, they paying over 200 million for a soccer player. By Allah, I'm asking myself and I'm asking you, how this will help the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? How can this help the poverty? How can get us out from the darkness and the poverty to the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? The ummah, ya ikhwan, need rijal. We need a manufactory of men. That's what the Quran and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam teach us. The man is more value and stronger than material. You can be the strongest country where you have so much money that you can get the weapons. But this weapon, if they're behind it a soldier who have a strong heart, they can lose. In the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Rijal, when they're fighting the Roman, and they lost, the Roman lost, and the soldier, the big leader saying, how can you lose in a small number in front of a small number, and they don't have the equipment that we have? They said, we hide behind mountain, and these people pushing the mountain, and they want to die for sake of their belief. How can we face this kind of people? Khalid ibn al-Walid, they call him the fox of the desert. He was surrounded in one battle, and he sent asking for madad for Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And he told him, I need military for defense because we're going to lose the battle. Then Khalid ibn al-Walid sent him one soldier in front of thousands of enemy. And Khalid said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I'm asking you to win the battle and I have shortage of men. And you send me one man to stand in front of thousands. He said, I'm sending you one man, Al-Qa'qa', the Sahabi. He said equivalent to 1,000 men. He said al-Qa'qa' in a military as the equivalent to 1,000 soldiers. He said al-Qa'qa' in a military, this military will never lose a battle. We have a battle of this dunya. The battle of this time is not the battle of weapon. It's the battle of khuluq, the behavior, the true behavior. When they asked Omar, what's your wish? He said, I want rijal. And he said some kind of sahaba, Mu'az ibn Jabal, wa Huzaifa. These people lead. And we need to teach that to our young generation. We need them to understand the manhood is not by age. One young kid entered to a big leader, and he said to him, I'm speaking in behalf of my nation. He said to him, they didn't find an older person to speak in behalf of them. Then the youngest kid, he said, oh sir, if it's about age, you were not supposed to be in this chair, and there is older than you in this nation can be in this chair. The wisdom is not by age. You could be young, but you could be the strongest one in this room. You could be the poorest one, but because you have the knowledge and the behaving, you'll be the richest one in this room. Now, we need men equivalent to 1,000. We need men that they give their life and they give their work before they are seeking help. We need people to give instead of taking. To give first and then take second. We need people like Al-Qa'qa'. And the Quran mentioned that. The Quran mentioned that in Surah Al-Kahf about this young man. It's not by the age that we're going to confirm that he is a man. It's by the way he raised. Al-Khuluq. Your khuluq is nur. When you have the correct khuluq, it's nur for rijal. Then whenever you are approaching this man, you can approach him from any direction. You will find the nur of the ilm. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على المصطفى المبعوث رحمة للعالمين. We need to raise this new generation with the khuluq. We need to teach them how they can lead this country and lead the whole nation. And I will just give you a story of a Shafi'i. Everybody knows the Shafi'i, one of the school of thought. We have the Hanafi and the Shafi'i and Ahmadi and Malik. And the Shafi'i was a teacher and he was the leader of his time. And he had a student. His name is Yunus. Yunus was the student of Shafi'i. But one day, the Shafi'i addressed a topic that Yunus wasn't agreeing with his teacher about. And he stand up and he left his class and he went back home, disagreeing with his sheikh. What happened in the night? Yunus heard the door. Then he asked, who's behind the door? The person behind the door, he said, my name is Muhammad ibn Idris. Yunus said, I thought about Muhammad ibn Idris, but I never thought about Shafi'i. Then he opened the door and he found a Shafi'i, which is Muhammad ibn Idris. Then he entered and he told him the first thing. He said to him, Ya Yunus, oh Yunus, we agree about a lot of matter in Islam. Don't let one disagree in one topic break the relationship between me and you. First of all, I want to tell you who went to whom. The sheikh, the teacher, went to his student. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that impressed me. When you learn from the mashayikh, the true mashayikh, you understand that you are humble, that you go to your student. You don't say, the student come to me. No. Shafi'i went to his student. Even though that the student is disagreeing with him, he went to him. That's the first thing to Shafi'i. Second, he told him, we agree about a lot of matter. Doesn't matter whether you put your hand in a salah here or here or here, but we agree about another matter. That's the first thing, the first message. And then he said to him, Ya Yunus, لا تحاول الانتصار. Don't try to win every battle in your life. We need to teach our young youth that. Not every topic, not every challenge in this life you're going to win. He said to him, don't try to win every battle in your life. Sometime, he said, sometime, one battle, you can win the heart of the person better to win that topic. I can disagree with you, but I know if I insist to tell you you're wrong, I'm going to lose you forever. Sometime I can bend the rules a little bit. I said, you know what? It's your school of thought and school of my thought. But you know what? We disagree, but we agree to disagree. Don't abandon the masjid. If you're Imam al-Shafi'i, doesn't mean that all the Hanafi or Ahmadi or Maliki don't pray behind him. Sometimes you see even a Shia is praying behind the Sunni. Because we agree on a lot of things. Don't make one disagree. Break this relationship. And then he told him, Ya Yunus, win the heart of the believers. That's very important. And then he told him, we have to teach this to young ones. لا تهدم الجسر. Don't destroy the bridge between me and you. Maybe one day, Ya Yunus, you need to cross the bridge again. We have to teach that to all of us. Sometime when we get argument, we break the bridge, then we cannot go back. I tell all the brothers who have an argument in marriage or a partnership, leave the door open, leave the bridge open. Maybe you need to go back. When they come and they cuss each other and bring all the dirty laundry, I don't involve in that because I know that maybe in the end they will go back and I will be the mistake in the whole thing. You know, I will agree that your wife was wrong and she was bad, and then in the end you said, just my wife, it's like you were wrong. Leave the bridge open because you know what? Maybe you needed to go back. Then, Ya Yunus, and this is what I want to give you this point. Ya Yunus, ikrah al-khata. Oh Yunus, hate the mistake. Yes, hate the mistake, but don't hate the one who make the mistake. I hate you behaving, but I don't hate you. Wakrah al-ma'siyah, and hate the sin, but don't hate the sinner. I hate the people who make sin loudly and clear and open in the open field. But I hate the sin, but I don't hate them. Because they are potential believers. They could be better than me. Or they could be a potential for me to get them the hidayah. Don't break the bridge. Then he said, have mercy on the sinners. Then, another thing. Intaqid, argue, but with respect between the parties. I can argue with you. Your way is wrong, but with respect of you. Now the last mission is where all the dua come for. Inna muhimmatana is that duty for us in this dunya to naqdi al-marad, to destroy the sickness, to destroy the disease, not the patient. The good scholar, his job to cure you from the sickness, cure you from the temptation, the disease that you have, the bad habit that you have, not to kill you. This is very important. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam make it clear in the Quran and in the Sunnah that raising the generation, raising the young ones, is very important for the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel to all shabab. The nubuwwah, the prophecy, came to all the prophets in a young age. When we're talking about 40, this is young age. And also in the Quran, they're talking about Ibrahim alayhi salam. قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم. فتى. Ibn Kathir said, فتى means shab. Then where is our shabab? Where is our youth? They behind computer. They behind unseen. They behind image. They are living in a la la land. They are not living the true life. They are wishing the gold and silver, but they are not wishing the good behaving of Islam. سبعة يظلهم الله يوم لا ظل إلا ظل. 7 kind of people that Allah will shelter them in the day of judgment, that there is no shelter except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of them is the young youth, shab. And I'm saying shab is starting from the puberty until age 40. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if this person shelter himself in this dunya with the temptation and the fitna, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shelter him when the day there is no shelter. Now, the message is clear. Let's cure our sickness and sick people and don't kill them. Don't destroy them. Tell them, learn. Be like the qaqa. Be equivalent to 1,000 men. When you are present in a place, your impact is equivalent to 1,000 men. When you are involved in the da'wah, you reflect of the da'wah equivalent to 1,000 men. Leadership, taking decisions, as you see, it's always controlled by 1 or 2 people. Why? Because we don't raise our kids as a leader. We don't raise them because we take their decision for them until age 30. I find young kids, I call them kids for me, when they are 30 and they still going back to the parent asking for decision. Because the parent said, I'm afraid that he will make a mistake. Age 30, and you're afraid that your son will make a mistake? You're supposed to make him make mistake from age 15 and 16. When he's 30, he should lead the ummah. Right or wrong? Let's raise them. Make mistakes. Where are they going to learn? When are they going to learn? We are shelter them. We are blind them. And we are feeding them. The money is the most important thing in this earth. But when they put them in one place, put your son or your daughter in one place, are they adding to this or they are no one? If they are in majlis, they have opinion and have ideas and have leadership, or they are no one. Don't blame them and say personality and the society. You are part of this. Because in the house, you didn't ask him, what's your opinion? What do you think about that? I have 5 kids, I have 7 kids, you have 8 kids. Ask him, what do you do if I'm not here? How are you going to lead this family? How are you going to make a decision for your brother? And that's why we raise ummah. Are you fearing Allah in every action you do? And instead of monitor them and picking on them and tell them you are a loser, you will never be a leader. And then, what? He will be a loser. He will not be a leader because he didn't give him the opportunity to be a leader. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send leader to this ummah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send Abu Bakr and Omar and Uthman and Ali and Al-Qaqa. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send people to raise this ummah back to the nur. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the knowledge how to deal with each other and nationality and colors and education. We need to serve the da'wah, not waiting for somebody to beg you. You and me are the messenger of this da'wah. We are the one who are in charge of Islam. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to don't tempt us in this dunya by the money and the financial and the kids.